Good morning, everybody. So today I got another truck project. I've got a solar generator that I want to haul around my truck, but I want to be able to charge it without carrying solar panels. My particular model is a Bluetti AC200L, and I don't know, maybe a couple months back, Bluetti came out with what they're calling the Bluetti Charger 1. This bad boy here can go up to 580 watts, depending on your model. So we're going to get into it. We're going to hook this up and then just kind of test out the Bluetti solar generator, see what it's charging at. I've got to adjust the voltage based on the model I have. There's a couple reasons why I went with the Bluetti fast charger. One is because I already have a couple Bluetti products, and I do like their products. I like their customer service. No complaints. There are a ton of players in the market now, so everything is becoming more affordable. If this would have been the case 13 years ago when I moved onto my homestead, I would be 100% off the grid. I paid $2,500 or so just to get power from the pole dug underground to our house. That's not too bad, actually. I've got a buddy that's been quoted $15,000, but for $5,000, depending on your needs, you can completely be off the grid. I'm almost certain that that would be sufficient for us. Anywho, back to the project at hand. So we'll kind of unbox this. I know what's in here just from doing my research. It comes with everything you need to get up and running. So I'll take you along as we do this. So Bluetti always sent their stuff in very good packaging. You know, it's going to be surrounded by styrofoam, peanuts, whatever. Bunch of plastic, of course, silica. So here's the actual unit itself, fairly small, and you're gonna see how long these cables are, but my plan is to install this at the end of my truck. So I can have my generator at the end, and when needed, just plug in and start the truck up. So this box has got all your cables, all your mounting hardware, everything you need to get it set up. All right, so these are heavy duty, 6-gauge wired. You just hook this straight up to your battery. Now I have a diesel truck, so I do have a 200, one of the bigger alternators, a 200 amp alternator, and I also have two batteries. One that goes directly to the starter, and then one that pretty much feeds all the other accessories. So I'm going to hook this one up to that one. Not really sure how long these are. They appear to be pretty long. I'm sure if you go to Bluetti's website, it'll tell you how long they are. And this will dictate where exactly I put it in the bed of my truck. But I'm hoping to get it back as far as possible. So it does come with quite a big breaker, like what you find in your house. And it does come with, this is the hardware package. Okay, so you can mount this somewhere in your truck. Okay, so I'm gonna get this all strung out, hopefully zip tied, figure out where I need to be. And I don't know if I'm gonna really film a lot of that just because it's kind of not the best lighting in here. It's a lot of figuring out, but I'll bring you back when I do figure it out and I'll walk you along how I ran it. My plan is to connect to this side, just because that's my accessory battery, and then come down with the wire, zip tie it along, and then come up to the bed wherever it kind of, ends on me. So I'll bring you back when I get to that point. Okay, got her all installed. Never done that before, but it wasn't that hard. All in all, it probably took me 30 minutes. I did have to take out my air box cleaner just because I wanted to route my wires down below here. But yeah, it's just red and black, or positive, negative to the battery. Then I'll kind of show you, just in case you want to do something similar. So I ran mine. I know it's going to be hard to see, but there's kind of the under the hood cavity up there, and I came down and I ran it just along this lip here and zip tied it wherever I could. Then I ran out of holes here, so I drilled a hole, came back and painted over it, zip tied it there. Same deal here. Zip tied it there, ran it around this frame mount, zip tied it there, then ran it up here behind this bed mount and zip tied it there. And then right here I drilled a hole. It was a 1-inch hole because that's the grommet I had, so there's still a little bit of sunlight peeking through, so I may come back and kind of fill that in with some foam or something. But I ran the positive negative up there after I painted the freshly drilled hole. And now let's go up on top. Show you what I did back here. You're going to do what you need to do. Everybody's mileage varies, but you can see that's where I came up through the bed floor, I guess, and into that breaker. Now I decided to mount it here because I'm going to have toolboxes in here. The toolboxes will miss that because I want to be level with, or not level, but plumb with this here. Then I mounted the actual charger here. It came with these self-tapping screws. And then I brought the PV, the output, up through here. Since I already had these clamps, I just ran the wiring through there over to my solar generator. And this was topped off, so it wouldn't charge. So I put a space heater on it for just a couple minutes and took it down 1% or 2 and kicked on the charger 1, and within 3 minutes it was charged back up to 100%. Now at the charger it was like pushing 580 watts, and then you lose some through the actual cables. By the time I got here it was like 568, so not too bad. 568 watts is much better than a solar panel, and that thing is far less clunky. And I had contemplated putting a solar panel on top of my camper top here, and I still might do that just so I don't have to run my truck all the time. But for a couple upcoming jobs that I got to go out and do, this is going to be perfect. I'll have 110 power all the way up to 30 amp at my disposal if I need to start the truck and get her charged back up. So like I said, that's how I did it. I didn't really need a whole lot of tools. For me, this took a 1/2-inch wrench, so needed that. You could always use, I just brought up an array of tools. I did end up needing my drill, obviously. Drilled a couple holes, and I just used the step bit right here, and that worked perfectly. It doesn't take much to get through that sheet metal. And some zip ties. A screwdriver, and then they provided this Allen wrench. A 5/16 inch or you can use a Phillips head for that. So again, that was the Bluetti Charger 1. The instructions are here. I mean, it's a no-brainer install, especially with diagrams like this. You just got to make sure you have that breaker between the battery and the charger, and then you just place it where this is a car or SUV, so they must have had it in the trunk, but you place it wherever you need to. So yeah, that's the Bluetti Charger 1 install, pushing 565 to 570 watts into my solar generator with the truck running. That might spike a little bit, you know, with higher RPMs, but just idle, that's all I did. I just started it up and it was at 568. So again, I have the 200 amp heavy duty alternator on my truck. If you got a 1500, you probably have like a 180, a little smaller, but it should still push probably 550 watts. So yeah, that's kind of a game change. Well, if it's just I want to go camping, I can throw a mattress back there, have power. Yeah, it just opens a lot of doors. And like I said, I can always still install a solar panel on top of the truck. I just don't have a whole lot of room. I want to be able to park my truck in the garage, so this kind of solves that problem. Maybe I'll just take some suitcase solar panels with me, and on days like today where it's real sunny, I utilize the sun when I'm on the job site. So yeah, again, this Bluetti Charger 1 comes well packaged, no complaints there. It may even be on sale right now, I'm not sure. I'll put a link in the description if you want to go to Bluetti. I have had really good luck with their products. I have the AC300 plus 2 expansion batteries for that. That's my backup system from my house. We have had to use that a couple times. I live in Tornado Valley, so definitely have utilized that more than once, and that has worked flawlessly. And then I have the AC200L. That's what you saw in the back of the truck, and I use that all over the property, down the pond, wherever I need power. Now I get to use it on the road, camping, whatever. I have a good way, essentially a big old diesel generator. So yeah, that's a Bluetti Charger 1. If anybody has any questions, let me know. That's essentially how I installed it. Took me about 30 minutes. If you have a similar truck, I would recommend the same. Especially if you, main reason I put it on the passenger side is, one, I wanted to hook into the accessory battery, but also over here I have my I think maybe a plug for fifth wheel or in bed camper. So in case I want to utilize that down the road, I didn't want to cover that up or get in the way or anything like that. So yeah, but main thing was just to kind of tap into my second battery, my accessory battery, because this one over here is hooked directly up to the starter, so kind of leave that alone. Okay, well, appreciate y'all watching. Like I said, if you have any questions, just throw them in the comments, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.